بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. We start by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send blessings and salutation upon His beloved and final messenger Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless all those that followed in His footsteps and make us from them. Respected brothers and sisters, honorable elders, in Islam, one of the greatest gifts that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give us is this gift of awareness, consciousness, right? You know, this is one of the beautiful things that our deen constantly calls us towards, that we don't live, you know, through this life just randomly drifting, right? That we're constantly aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, constantly aware of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us, aware of time, and, you know, the meaning of time, aware of opportunities that come our way. This is how we're بَادِرُوا إِلَى الْخَيْرَاتِ. This is how we're meant to be living our life. And we know, my brothers and sisters, as believers, that all this, that one day we're going to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask us what we did with this life. Really, our life is just, you know, an accumulation of what? Of the choices that we make in life. So we need to always be thinking, what deserves my attention? What deserves my effort? What deserves my time? And what does my heart deserve? Now, last week we spoke a little bit about tests, my brothers and sisters. Now, and we know that tests are a way in which it creates awareness for us, right? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ حَتَّى نَعْلَمُوا الْمُجَاهِدِينَ مِنْكُمْ وَالصَّابِرِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that we will most certainly test you in order, hatta, that we know who amongst you strive and who amongst you are from those who are patient. Now, na'lamu, this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying that we know, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows, right? We have a belief that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is well aware of our condition. He knows us more than we know ourselves, right? But what is this? What does this mean? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it apparent, manifest to us, right? Our condition, right? This is one of the hikmas, one of the wisdoms of going through tests and difficulty in lives, right? Now, my brothers and sisters, but we always look at tests as something hard, right? Or difficulties, but everything is a test, right? وَلَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ فِتْنَةً. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that also, just like shar, just like difficulty is a test, that also khair is a test for you, right? And an opportunity that we get in life, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us these opportunities, are tests, whether we'll take it or not, right? Now, my brothers and sisters, all of us, you know, in the world, that when we see something that is profitable, when we see an opportunity that is a good opportunity, naturally, anybody intelligent will take that opportunity, right? If they tell us it's an investment guaranteed, you'll double your money, you'll increase your money by tenfold, then no doubt every single one of us will take that opportunity. Now, we have another opportunity that is on our doorsteps, right? Just a few days away, we have the greatest days of the year, right? The greatest days of the year. Now, this is not just another point in a calendar, right? But this is an invitation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calling us towards Him. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us that these are the most virtuous days in the whole dunya. These first 10 days of Dhul-Hijjah, there's nothing more virtuous than these 10 days, right? This is an opportunity and a test for us. Now, think about it, my brothers and sisters. How many of us give the same amount of effort to these 10 days that we do in Ramadan? Ask yourself the question. How many of us prepare for these 10 days like we prepare for the days of Ramadan? Right? With consensus, these 10 days of Dhul-Hijjah are more virtuous than the days of Ramadan. This is the consensus of the ulama. But how much effort do we put in? How much do we give it? This is a test. You know, in Ramadan, It is compulsory, right? We have to fast. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it compulsory for us to fast. But also in Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us some advantages. He shackles the shayateen, opens the door of Jannah, closes the door of Jahannam, increases our rewards. But no doubt, there's that communal effort as well, that everybody gets involved, right? That's Ramadan. But now outside the Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling us also to opportunities, not making them compulsory for us, but calling us towards them. And this is the test for us, whether we show as much dedication to these. Do we do actions purely because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mandates them for us? Or do we do actions because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves these actions and we love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? This is the test each one of us has to ask. Now Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sitting with the Sahaba radiallahu anhu, he said, مَا مِنْ أَيَّامٍ الْعَمَلُ الصَّالِحِ فِيهِنَّ أَحَبَّ إِلَى اللَّهِ مِنْ هَذِهِ الْعَشْرِ. That there's no days that actions are more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than the actions that are done in these days. What did the Sahaba radiallahu anhu say? وَلَا الْجِهَادِ يَا رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. What about jihad, ya Rasulullah? And Rasulullah told them, no, even jihad, except one condition. A person who goes out with his wealth, with his life, and he doesn't return. That is the only action when a person gives their everything and they don't return, shaheed. That is better than doing actions in these days. Now, this hadith is very important. And I want to focus on two words, just two words in this hadith that we can reflect on and understand how they are a test of our sincerity and our commitment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first word is what? Ahabba. Ahabba, more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the other word is al-jihad. And jihad here is the real meaning of jihad. These are just two words that we need to contemplate on. The first one, ahabba, that something is more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than anything. My brothers and sisters, the Sahaba radiallahu an, they knew the value of this. There's certain phrases when Rasulullah mentions them, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions them, our ears need to open up, we need to look. And one of them is this, ahabba, that something is more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than anything else. Right? Now think about it. I want to think about it. You yourself think, my brothers and sisters, think about the thing that is most beloved to you. That thing you love the most, you honor it the most, it means the most to you, right? Think about that thing. Then think about somebody who comes and they show respect to that same thing. They show honor to that same thing. They take care of that same thing. They look after that same thing. They honor, they nurture it, they protect it. How do you feel about that person? That he is loved, he is respected, he is honored the things that you love, right? How do you feel about that person? You want to bring that person close to you. Yeah? We naturally incline and love to a person like that, right? Because they take care of what we love. And what about somebody else? Somebody else who comes, you tell them how important this is to me. This is the most beloved thing to me. And they just shun it. And they just turn away from it. They don't care about it. How are you going to feel about that? Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us these are the most beloved days to Him. That action in these days are the most beloved to Him. How are we going to treat them? Are we going to treat them like any other day, just days that pass by? Or are we going to show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala our dedication and our love for what He loves? Right? Because naturally, even in a relationship, right? That it's not just about we do what is obligatory. Like Ramadan, we have to do it. But in a marriage, if we're only going to do what is obligatory, what's mandatory in a marriage, it's very little. Right? Love does not get built with just doing what is compulsory. Right? That we have to always do more. That when we're in a relationship, we find out what that person loves, what they care about, and we love it, we honor it, we care about what's important to them. This is natural. And when we do this, the relationship builds. Sahaba radiallahu anhu, they knew this. They knew this. Sa'id ibn Jubair, one of the greats. He was the one who narrated this hadith from Ibn Abbas. The great student of Ibn Abbas, radiallahu anhuma. Sa'id radiallahu anhu, he said that it was said that in these 10 days that people were amazed the amount of effort, it just wasn't possible. The amount of effort he made in these days, people would look and say, it's impossible that he does this. But he did it, right? Because he understood these were the most beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, don't extinguish your lamps at night. That he would spend the whole night in prayer because he understood, right? Now, in another hadith, what does Rasulullah tell us? That, my brothers and sisters, that we come closer to Allah. That if a person wants to come close to Allah, there's nothing more beloved than the acts that are compulsory. Mimma iftaradtu bi. Right? So this is the first thing. Yes, that is how we come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then, how do we gain Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's love? The hadith continues, right? That a person will continue to come closer to me with acts of nawafil hatta ahibbuhu, until I love him, right? So we understand, one is the compulsory acts. This is how we gain proximity. But to gain Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's love is by doing all the acts that are extra acts. Like in these 10 days, it's not compulsory, right? We're not sinful if we don't do anything. But if we want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's love, then all these extra acts that we must do. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you, what happens? We come like the ears of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we come like the eyes. What does this mean, right? That it means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with us, that He gives us tawfiq to do good, that we won't look at anything that is, unhappy, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is unhappy with. We won't hear anything, right? That He'll guide us, He'll give us tawfiq in our life, right? So, and then what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell us? Hadith al-Qudsi. He tells us that when my slave asks of me, I will most certainly give him. And when my slave seeks protection from me, I will most certainly protect him. What more do we want when we have the love of Allah? Like when we have the love of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls out to Jibreel, Ana hibbu fulan. I love this person. Jibreel calls out to the entire dunya that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves this person, so love him, love her. Right? Once we have the love of Allah, my brothers and sisters, then there's nothing that we have to worry about. So it's these 10 days, we have this opportunity and test. Where is our love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And if we want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's love, what do we do? Right? This is the first word. What is the second word? Al-jihad. Al-jihad. Now, my brothers and sisters, imagine the Sahaba radiallahu anhu, Rasulullah tells them, there's no actions more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than these actions. What is the first thing, right? The first thing they say, what about jihad, ya Rasulullah? In their mind, we learn from this, in their mind, the Sahaba radiallahu anhu, they knew that the pinnacle, right? The pinnacle is jihad. They didn't say, yeah, what about salah, ya Rasulullah? What about fasting, ya Rasulullah? They immediately went to jihad, right? So we understand this is the pinnacle. And in fact, Rasulullah tells us the one that is out in the path of Allah, that one, it's like they're constantly in fasting and prayer, right? So we understand that this is in their mind, right? Now, my brothers and sisters, we ask ourselves, and Rasulullah, something else, Rasulullah told us that if a person doesn't at minimum have intention to give their life, to go out, that they'll die on shu'batun min nifaq, a branch of nifaq, a branch of hypocrisy. So this is jihad, right? Now, many of us, my brothers and sisters, right? Many of us, we talk about jihad, right? We talk about jihad. We talk about the opportunity of jihad. Here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing us, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to us that there's something more virtuous. There's something more virtuous than jihad, right? Than jihad. It's just doing good actions in these days, right? Right? And subhanAllah, my brothers and sisters, it's our opportunity. You know that we have this thing that sometimes we call to things that are unavailable to us, right? We're always speaking about the leaders and this and that. We're speaking about going out in the path. It's unavailable to us, right? But when we say, come, learn about deen, what about jihad? What about, what? We ignore those things that are available to us, and we speak about those things that are unavailable to us. And this is another test of our sincerity here, that we don't have the opportunity, right? But Rasulullah, he's telling us, is that something greater than that is doing actions in these days. So my brothers and sisters, let's take this opportunity. That's why these days, they're a real test. They're a test of our sincerity. They're a test of our seriousness and commitment to this deen. Now, we're coming up a few days' time, right? Always when we enter into these days, what do we need to do, right? The very first thing that we need to do, my brothers and sisters, is ask Allah subhanahu for tawfiq. We cannot achieve anything. We cannot achieve anything without the ability from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? That every single day, every single salah, every single moment on our tongues, Allahumma waffiqna lima tuhibbu wa tarda. Oh Allah, give us the ability to do that which you love. Give us the ability to do that which pleases you, right? This should be on our tongue. This should be every single moment. Now, next couple of days, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this, right? For the ability. And second, my brothers, is tawbah, that we turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? That we know that we need to clean ourselves, right? This season was about the sacrifice of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. Inna Ibrahim lahalimun awwahum munib. That he was forbearant, right? That he was constantly turning back. Inaba, constantly turning back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And this is the thing. First, it's tawbah, that we come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Him for forgiveness, right? And this inaba also, it's not just tawbah. It's that we turn ourselves entirely. What is the call of Hajj? Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. What does it mean? That, Ya Allah, I am here for you. Right? I am here for you, Ya Allah. Maybe I drifted, but I am here at your service, Ya Rabb. We don't have the opportunity to go, right? But we have the opportunity to still make the labbaik here for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My brothers and sisters, think about a child, a little baby, or a toddler. You take them to the playground and you leave them. For a moment, they forget, they start playing. What happens to them when they turn around and they don't see the parent? What happens? Their mind, they're so worried. This is how our hearts are meant to be in the world, that sometimes we drift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a little second. Once we remember and we forget, our hearts should be worried, scared. I come back, inaba. I return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let's make these days coming up that we all turn back in tawbah, in sincerity. Everything we turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now in these days, my brothers and sisters, Rasulullah didn't specify what actions. He said all good actions. But let's look at some hadith. Ahabbul kalam ilallahi arba'. Subhanallahi walhamdulillahi wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar. Let's make this dhikr, right? Look at all the things in other hadith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us are most beloved to Him in these days, where actions are most beloved. So these 4 words, Subhanallahi walhamdulillahi wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar. He was asked, what actions are most beloved? As-salat ala waqtiha wa birrul walidain after that. That salah in its time, that we have to, this is most important. That our fard, we get right. Let's use these days to work on that. And after that, don't forget other people. We don't forget our parents, right? Ahabbul bilad, the most beloved place to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Masajiduha, the masjid, right? That we try our best to be here in the masjid as much as we can, right? And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ahabban nas ilallahi anfa'hum linnas. That the most beloved person to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who is most beneficial to people, right? So let us be there, let us give, let us visit the sick. Whatever opportunities that we do of good that we get, let's take them. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq in these days. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept all our actions.